Hi guys, today is an animated book review of Solving the Procrastination Puzzle by Timothy Pychyl. Now in the book, Tim defines procrastination as the voluntary but needless delay of an intended action despite the knowledge that this delay may harm the individual or the task performance. Basically, procrastination is needless delay. Now for some of us, procrastination is a habit. In fact, Tim cites some research that says 20% of the population chronically procrastinate. But the simple reality is we all procrastinate. So the question we then ask ourselves is, what is the problem with procrastination? Well, in the book, the problem with procrastination is that people who report high on procrastination also self-report lower achievement overall, more negative feelings, and even significant health problems. Now, the lower achievement makes sense. When we have less time to perform a task, we have less time to perform a task well. The negative feelings also make sense. When we procrastinate, we feel a variety of different emotions, one of which is guilt, because we know we could have performed the task that we ended up pushing off. The interesting one is the significant health problems. When we procrastinate, Tim cites some research that says there are two ways in which procrastination affects our health. The first being, when we procrastinate, we stress, and stress compromises our immune system. The second way is chronic procrastinators often delay implementing healthy habits. So instead of going for the vegetables or the salad and water, they go for the hamburger and fries, delaying the healthy habit. Now, all this stuff is bad, but the real problem with procrastination, as said by Tim, is that we are delaying our goals, our dreams, our vision, which in turn delays our life and our happiness. Because here's the thing, guys, happiness comes from the pursuit of our goals. And if we're procrastinating, we are putting off our goals. We are putting off our lives. So, why do we give into procrastination? Well, Tim says we give into procrastination because we want to feel good. When facing a task we intend to do, we feel a number of possible different or negative emotions. We feel frustrated, angry, bored, resentful, depressed, anxious, or even guilt. This is called task aversiveness. Aversive tasks are basically tasks we all want to delay. But the task may be necessary to reach a desired goal. An example of this is working out in order to improve our health. Of course, by putting off the task we don't want to do, we feel a feeling of reward. And in psychology, behaviors that are rewarded become repeated. So it's important for us to recognize that giving into the feeling good emotion is at the heart of our procrastination problem. So what's the strategy, you might ask? Well, what we need to do is first become aware that the task makes us feel awful, and then take the steps necessary to sit down and perform the task regardless of the feeling we may have for it. Basically, suck it up. Of course, this isn't the entire solution, but it is a necessary first step for an anti-procrastination strategy. So no running away from hard and difficult tasks, guys. Now, of course, you don't have to take the tough guy approach. You can also simply choose the emotions you want to focus on. An example of this is if you're feeling fear towards a task, you can acknowledge the fear as well as accept another emotion such as the drive to succeed. Now, the second strategy Tim gives us in the book is don't fall for the trick of saying that tomorrow I'll feel more like it. We all know that tomorrow never truly comes. You may think that you'll feel more like it tomorrow, but research has shown that we are not good at predicting our future mood. A perfect example of this is lottery winners. People often feel as if that when they win the lottery, they'll be much happier. But when we look at current lottery winners, what they find is people who are no more happier than they were before the lottery win. Another phrase people tend to use is, I work better under pressure. It's not that important. And there's a lot of time, so I prefer to do it tomorrow. These phrases basically represent signs that we're about to procrastinate. In the book, Tim gives us a tool called the if-then response, which is to say, if we say the task is not that important, then we sit down and do the task regardless. We can basically train ourselves to react to the automated stimulus and respond in a way that breaks the habit of chronic procrastination. Because here's the thing, once we start the task, it's never as horrible as we thought it would be. Tim then goes on to using the phrase just started, not to be confused with the phrase just do it by Nike. By just starting the task and or work, we can simply begin the process. When we look at doing the whole task, just do it, we can become overwhelmed by the sheer amount of work the task requires. So instead of looking to completely finish a task, just doing it, we should look at simply beginning the process, just started. Now, the book goes on to talk about willpower and the effects of personality on procrastination, but I'll leave you guys to read the book for yourselves. It's actually a pretty short read. It took about 2 hours. It's not even that big. So definitely go out there and check it out. Go grab it. But make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and also that like to let me know that you like this video. And until next week, until next Wednesday, all right, guys, peace.